Right now, the Trump administration is facing more than 130 lawsuits challenging everything from the firing of federal workers and the dismantling of federal agencies to sweeping executive orders ending birthright citizenship and kicking transgender troops out of the military. Of the cases now making their way through the courts, nearly 1/5 of them are related to Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. To date, only one of those lawsuits has been closed. NewsNation anchor Hannah Doba joins us live. Hannah, a federal judge this week ordered the administration to begin now reinstating thousands of probationary workers. Why is this case so important?
Hi, Nicole. For a few reasons. First, we're finally hearing a number of just how many federal workers were laid off. That number, 25,000 people. It's also the first time a judge has said that Elon Musk using enough authority, independent authority, is unconstitutional. Let's break down these numbers now. Who gets their jobs back? For now, at least. Let's start with the Treasury Department. More than 7,000 employees were fired. They've all been brought back. Same story for the USDA, Health and Human Services, along with all other departments on your screen right now. Let's talk about the VA, the 1,600 people that lost their jobs there. They've been put on administrative leave. The Trump administration also facing legal battles with USAID. A federal judge in Maryland said the firing of workers at the agency by DOGE was likely unconstitutional. But he stopped short of reversing the layoffs or fully restoring the agency. Now, this ruling came in response to a lawsuit by current and former USAID employees. Here's what Steve Bannon told our Chris Cuomo about these very reversals.
Now, I realize today in the courts he had a pretty big reversal, at least on the surface of it, a reversal. But the audience has to understand, we are running $2 trillion deficits. We basically spend $6.5 trillion. We take in about $4.5 trillion. That $2 trillion deficit goes to our debt. It has to be refinanced every year. This is what embedding inflation. We have to cut it.
We should mention the Trump administration has appealed both rulings. In a statement to NewsNation, the White House says they are pursuing all legal remedies available, and they do expect a victory on this issue, Nicole.
All right. But Hannah, late yesterday, a federal judge there in D.C. refused to issue an immediate restraining order to prevent DOGE from effectively taking over the U.S. Institute of Peace. So tell us more about what's going on in this situation.
Yeah, let's take a look at this video, too. Nearly a dozen workers at the USIP have lost their jobs after the Trump administration gutted the organization's board members. They kicked them out of their office building earlier this week. That's what we're looking at now. They're now asking a court to block DOGE from dismantling the nonprofit. They're also asking a court to block DOGE from dismantling the institute as a whole. Now, the organization, what does it do? It was established by Congress over 40 years ago and says its status is as an independent entity, not a federal agency, meaning DOGE staffers should not have been able to access this building in the first place.
The U.S. Institute of Peace is not an executive branch agency, department, or entity. It is a separate, independent corporation registered in the District of Columbia. The employees of our building are not federal employees, executive branch employees. They are employees of the Institute. We have our own separate board. We have our own bypass authority to go directly to Congress in order to get our money.
So I'm sure you're wondering, what does USIP do? Well, the group claims it has since helped resolve many world conflicts through research, advising policymakers, and training peacekeepers around the world. So why does the Trump administration want to dismantle it? It started with the Heritage Foundation. Remember that name? A conservative think tank that Trump distanced himself from during the campaign. The foundation cited USIP is not transparent enough and tends to favor Democrats. Now, according to the USIP's own rules, the president of the United States can fire and appoint board members. That's what we're seeing Trump do, but with approval from the majority of the board and several Senate subcommittees. And that we have not seen from the Trump administration, Nicole.
All right. Hannah Doba, live there in New York. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.